Kapare Bhakti dite pari, mukti dite pari.
I knew a wonderful man named Luther Mckinnie. Luther Mckinnie was born with things striking against him because, one, he was born in the South, he was born dirt poor, and he was born a Negro. Luther was one of the most blessed souls I've ever known. And he became a yogi. He moved to the north and went to live in Harlem. Uh, I don't know how much better that was and back in the South, but anyway, he moved to Harlem and lived there. And he became a yogi. The holiest place I've ever been in America, I mean that dead seriously, I'm not exaggerating, was Luther's meditation room. There was this little door, and you went in. Oh, I couldn't estimate the size. Say 8x8 at the absolute 8x8 at the biggest chest, and it was about 6x6, 7x7. So at the far side of the little room, there was a small kind of altar, and there were holy pictures there on the altar, especially of the masters of self-realization and fellowship. So, I mean, we literally all crawled in one by one and sat there. We meditated with Luther. And I tell you, I mean it, that little spot before we even meditated. I've been in holy places in America. My grandmother's house, when you stepped through the door, you were in another world. But I tell you, that was the holiest place I've ever been. Dr. Lewis, Yogananda's very great disciple, in fact, his first American disciple, knew and loved Luther very much. And he said to him, Luther, you purified your heart, and from now on you'll purify other people's hearts. And he did. And Luther's profession was a guard in the subway. Imagine, he had to wear a gun. So Luther stood there with his mind on God down in the subway. The gun was on his belt, but his mind was with God. And one day, two sloppy drunk women came by and staggered up to him and started talking to him. You know, they never say anything worth saying or hearing, but he was nice and he smiled and he was kind, and what little was good he integrated with their speech, and on they staggered. And they did this over a course of weeks. They come up and stand there and weave, and you know how it is. I'd be nice if you don't know, but I know, unfortunately. Well, then one day, here again came weaving up just one of them. And she walked up to Luther and said, What did you do to my friend? Because, see, people that are living in negativity, they don't like losing anybody out of their cesspool world. So she said, What'd you do to my friend? He said, What do you mean? I didn't do anything to her. I've only seen her when the two of you spoken with me. She said, No, you did something, because she was an alcoholic just like me. And now she's completely sober, and she tells everybody that you cured her of being an alcoholic. See? Just by his presence. And he's left this world, but he'll live in the hearts of those of us who knew him as long as we live. And of course, he is with the great masters now. What a wonderful, wonderful thing.
O devotee, I can give thee salvation, but not my love and devotion. For when I give those away, I give myself away.